Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk on the another topic of banking and finance paper 3. We are discuss now the topic number 1, the laws related to banking in India. And today we discuss on the topic of profit and loss account and balance sheet under the Bank Regulation Act section 29 and 30. So before the starting of these provision, we just see the history of Bank Regulation Act in brief. The Bank Regulation Act is legislation in India that regulate all banking firms in India from the 1949, and it was passed in the 16 March 1949, and it is applicable to Jammu and Kashmir state from 1956, and after that it is applicable to cooperative banks from the 1965. So Bank Regulation Act 1949, it is the main act in banking system in India, which is the regulate all the banking companies in India from 16 March 1949. And the brief summary of the previous lecture number 6. In the previous lecture we see the some powers of RBI under the various section. The powers of RBI under the section 21, the control loans and advances, checking the malpractices in banking company in India, the granting licensing to banking company under section 22, and the branch licensing under section 22, and unclaimed deposit under section 26. The publishing the information, RBI published the various information under the section 27, the publishing the monetary policy information, CRR, NPA rate of the banking companies. Regulate the non-banking institutions is under section 45H is the mention in Bank Regulation Act, and it is given the more power to Reserve Bank of India. The appointment and removal of the any officer in banking company under section 36A and 36AB, and the supervision and control on the banking company under section 36. The auditing is the important function which is we see in this lecture. The powers of RBI is about the auditing of every banking company in under section 30. Power to inspection under section 35 to every banking company is the under observation of the RBI, so RBI can inspect the any banking company under section 31. Punishment when the bank employee is participate into the any strike and any other things, and they create obstacle to customers entering in the office, and they disturbing to customers or diverting to customers. That time there are some punishment is mentioned in the section 36A(d). And the sum of the provision is applicable to the Nationalized Bank under this Bank Regulation Act 1949. So we discuss here the profit and loss balance sheet and audit, the section 30. So profit and loss account and balance sheet. The section 29 and 30 of the Act is deal with the provision in respect of the account and the balance and profit and loss account sheets. So under this section, the BR Act 1949 deal with the provision in respect of the preparation and submission of duly audited profit and loss account and balance sheet of banking company. So under this Act, the section 29, the every banking company prepare their balance sheet and duly audited and within their during period. The section 29 is also about to provision of every banking company has prepared its balance sheet and profit and loss account at the end of last working day of financial year of 31st March of each year. So every bank prepare their balance sheet before 31st March of the each year. All the banking companies incorporated in India have to cover their entire entries business transaction to all branches in India and branches abroad also in the balance sheet. So transaction in India and transaction from the abroad is also included in their balance sheets. In case of the foreign banks operate in India, they also confirm all the transaction business in India through the financial year end of the 31st March. Some of the foreign banks name we see here: the City banks, the Standard Chartered Bank, HSBC Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, DBS Bank, Barclays Bank, Bank of America, Bank of Bahrain and Kuwait, Bank of Doha. These are the bank, is a foreign bank. These are bank also prepare their balance sheet for the financial year and the present to the RBI under section 29. So under section 29 is about the prepare balance sheet within the 31st March. See here we see the one profit and loss account sheet and balance sheet of personal one company of one person. Similar kind of the balance sheet the banking company is prepared. There are the particulars, the liabilities and asset sides in the bank balance sheets, and the bank is mentioned the various things. It is the imaginative one example of the one person's balance sheet. Similar kind of balance sheet prepared for the banking company and before the end of 31st March. Form of the document subsection 3 under 29. It is deal with the form of document. So above statement to be the prepared in the form prescribed in third schedule of banking company. It also modified banking company by central government by issuing notice into the government gazette. So under this subsection of the 29, every banking company is prepared one document in prescribed form of the scheduled banking company, and whatever the needed thing is the clarified government in the government gazette. So some of the things is mentioned in prescribed form in third schedule of banking company, and this is necessary to fill up the prescribed form all scheduled bank. So prescribed form in third schedule. And the next is the signing of the statement under section 29 subsection 2. In India, in the case of banking company operating in India, statement must be signed by manager or the principal officer of the banking company, and when there are more than 3 directors, 5 directors or 8 directors, at least 3 of them sign on the balance sheet and profit and loss sheets, and whenever the less than 3 of the board of directors, all of them is the sign on the balance sheet and profit and loss account sheet. Outside the India, banking company incorporated outside India, the statement must be signed the manager or agent or principal officer of banking company. So outside the bank established is also necessary to prepare their balance sheet and sign off the principal officer, and bank is established in India, they also need the 3 director signs, and if less than 3, all of them sign on the profit and loss sheet and balance sheet. The audit balance sheet in the section 30 is explained about the audit of balance sheet. Section 30 with the audit balance sheet and profit and loss account accounting to the balance sheet and profit and loss account prepared in accordance to section 29. So every banking company prepare their balance sheet and duly audit with the auditor. Shall be audited by person duly qualified under any law for the time being in force to be an auditor of companies. So audit and taxation paper is also clear that our whatever the qualification of the auditors and who is appointed as a auditor of company. Here we discuss that the section 30, the audit and appointment of auditor throughout the RBI. So approval of the RBI, every banking company has obtained the prior approval of the RBI, appointment or reappointment and removal of the auditors in banking company. So whenever we want to appoint any new auditors, remove any auditors, that time we need the permission from the RBI, Reserve Bank of India. So section 30 is about the approval of the RBI and the preparation, the qualified auditors, the audit report. The special audit. If the RBI is opinion that it is necessary in the public interest or the interest of banking company, it is a deposit to do, and it may be ordered for the special audit of banking company account. Now these days the bank corruption is the increase. That's why if the bank think that the RBI think that there is a necessary in the favor of public interest to appoint special appoint for checking the transaction of class transaction or special period of transaction, that time RBI appoint the special audit and person name as an auditor for the purpose. It may be directed the auditor to such special audit. So RBI guideline provide to the auditors or appoint the special auditor for the special audit, and under the guideline of RBI, the auditor has complied with such direction and has been make report of such audit to RBI, and one copy has to force record to the banking company and one copy submit to the RBI. So in the case of the emergency, in the case of the insolvency, in the case of the any doubt of the RBI, that time RBI appoint the special audit and auditor to audit the banking companies and prepare the auditor audit report and submit the one copy to the RBI and one copy to the banking company. So audit of balance sheet is section 30 explain about the audit. The expense of this special audit is shall paid by the banking company. And the powers of auditor, the auditor shall have the powers exercise the function rest in discharge of the duty imposed upon him by the act. So he qualified person, so he exercised his powers and he done his duties as per the act. So whatever we learn from this video, the under the section of 29 and 30, we are at 1949, deal with the provision of respect the preparation and submission duly audit profit and loss account balance sheet of banking company. So every banking company prepare their balance sheet and profit and loss sheet within the end of 31st March. And the section 29 is deal about the provision of respect account of balance sheet and profit and loss account, and section 30 is about the audit of balance sheet and profit and loss account. In the case of the any insolvency, bankruptcy and the doubt of RBI, that time the special audit an auditor appointed by RBI to check the special transaction of banking company or special period of transaction checked by the auditors of banking company. So thank you for watching this video. You also refer for this topic the Mukund Mahajan book Banking and Law Practice, Nirali publication, Sangre B. T. and Salve, the Banking Law Practices Success publication book. And the one assignment question on this topic is the write short note on explain the following provision of BR Act 1949. The first is the preparation of profit and loss account balance sheet under section 29. Audit balance sheet under section 30. So 5 marks each. There is a 2 short notes, preparation of profit and loss account sheet and balance sheet, and another one is the audit of balance